Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. In today's video I'm kinda wrapping up my Xbox content with a Microsoft Flight Simulator Xbox and PC comparison video, hoping to help you find out what one's for you. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. But now let's get into this video. So starting off in this video today, we'll be using this table to compare different aspects of the simulator on PC and Xbox. I should state that I'm using the Xbox Series X as my benchmark because it's the console I've got experience on with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it won't be too different from the Xbox Series S anyway. And I would like to say this is my own opinion and I'm not harsh either way, I've got to be honest. It's not like I say anything controversial in this video, so keep the chat civil guys. It has been amazing that we've been able to open up flight simulation to millions more virtual pilots. Just keep it civil in the comments. I know things do get weirdly heated at times and there's really no need for it. Anyway, let's start off with our first point. Price. I'd have to say here Xbox is a clear winner, with the Xbox Series X coming in at £450 and the Xbox Series S coming in even lower, £250 to £300. It's clear what one offers a more affordable experience. Of course the actual sim is roughly the same price with the free versions, but really most people cannot afford a mid-range PC if they just want to do casual flying for the first time. You would struggle to find a good PC for £450 UK. You probably could get one, but it would be quite low spec, probably not suitable for gaming, let alone Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it's clear here that Xbox is the clear winner. If I had to describe Microsoft Flight Simulator on Xbox in any way, it would be affordable, and that's I think the great thing about it. Xbox certainly gets a tick here, PC is sadly left in the dust, and it's not necessarily Microsoft's fault, especially since the pandemic and all the shortages over in the Far East. PC prices have risen, and if you're looking to build one, it's going to take you time and even more money, so Xbox is certainly the only viable winner here. Moving over to graphics. Of course, this is quite subjective. Per price, Xbox would be the clear winner. On the Xbox, you're getting high/ultra graphics for the price of a low to mid-range PC. But don't be fooled, I do believe PC wins in the graphics section, purely because it's completely customizable, and of course, if you've got a beefy computer, you can push it above what you see on the Xbox Series X, running in beautiful 4K. Sadly, we don't have that customization on the Xbox, and I've got to be honest, I don't know why. It's not necessarily a bad thing because it means we have a very stable sim, but losing that customization ability does make it worse in some cases, which is why PC certainly wins in the graphics section. Of course, it's unfair to compare a £3,000 PC with an Xbox, but the fact you can customise graphics makes PC the winner here. Moving over to experience. Now what do I mean by experience? Well, I mean how the game feels, the aircraft they offer, the scenery and the quality of it, from start to finish, how the aircraft fly, loading times, etc, stuff like that. And I have to say, it's a complete draw. They both offer almost exactly the same experience in terms of tutorials, locations and aircraft. It's exactly the same. To differentiate, I would say Xbox is more suited to a social experience because of course you've got all the Xbox social features such as the ability to be able to message people from the game, invite them a lot easier than frankly you do on the PC. But on the other side of that, PC has got a much more professional experience. I mean in terms of being able to connect up to other mods, being able to use VATSIM and IVAO. They do both offer very different experiences in that regard, but coming right at the box, default exactly the same. I really couldn't pick a fault. This is why they both get a little green tick here. Of course we have exactly the same default aircraft, regardless of what version of the sim you brought, and exactly the same tutorials, and exactly the same airports, so there's really no difference. Moving on to our fourth point, before we do, let's take a look at the chart already. It is a draw. We've got Xbox with 2 points and PC with 2 points. While Xbox wins on price, PC just edges over in graphics, coming to a draw with their experience. Let's see where we end up now. Now moving on to the 4th point, add-ons and customization. PC wins by far without a doubt. The marketplace is the limiting factor on the Xbox. You cannot get any add-ons outside of the marketplace, which does mean you're almost completely restricted to payware add-ons. It shouldn't really be like this. I don't think it's the best move. If there was some way to bring over massive amounts of freeware add-ons to the Xbox, then trust me, I'd be straight over on it. This doesn't mean it doesn't have its positives, and we'll talk about that later. But PC wins by far here. The customization on PC is incredible, from real-world live ATC services such as aviation and VATSIM, to beautiful websites like flightsim.to providing awesome amounts of content for everyone for free a lot of the time. On Xbox you've got to rely on the marketplace, and it means a lot of the time, 99% of the time, you're paying for something you probably wouldn't necessarily have to pay for on PC because you could get the freeware version, etc. Moving on to number 5, stability. Now, due to the nature of PC, obviously Xbox is going to be more stable. This is because on the PC, as I was talking about add-ons, you have the ability to customize it, which means there is a higher chance of conflict in your files, and a higher chance of you breaking the game or the Sobo breaking the game, because of course you've got access to a lot of the game files. Because you have more control over the game, the chance of something going wrong is higher. I know this definitely applies to me. The amount of times I've broken my files on PC and had to reinstall, I couldn't even count on my fingers. Because of that, you also have the chance of pushing PC to a point where your computer no longer can handle it. If you raise your settings too high or better buy too much scenery, or overload your PC, then the chance of it crashing or you experiencing low FPS does raise exponentially. It's for this reason that Xbox wins the tick here. Not necessarily for a good reason, because of course the customization of the PC does make it fantastic and allow you to improve the experience greatly, but it's just something to bear in mind. Xbox, in my experience, seems a lot more stable than PC, and once you think about it, it makes complete sense. Another tick for Xbox here. Moving on to our last point, hardware. If you don't know what hardware is, it's basically stuff that you can hold in your hand that you can connect up to a device. PC once again is a clear winner here, purely because Microsoft Flight Simulator has been out for a while on the PC, and of course Flight Sim's history on the PC. There's plenty of stuff out there already. This gives you more options in terms of creating your own setup, or should I say your own cockpit, and with the great options like the honeycomb yoke out there, or affordable options like the old Logitech stuff, I can only really recommend PC if you're looking to build your own cockpit, because on Xbox you're not going to have much of a chance. At the moment there is barely any hardware for the Xbox. We've got the Thrustmaster T-Flight 1, which is out of stock everywhere and not very affordable for what you get anyway. And of course the fact you've only got 2 USB ports or 3 USB ports on your Xbox does restrict what you can put in, unless of course you're getting a USB hub. Purely the fact that flight simulation has been established longer on PC than it has been on Xbox by decades means we've got a lot more equipment on the PC than we do on the Xbox. Of course, it doesn't mean it won't change, with plenty of stuff coming out for the Xbox, such as honeycomb compatible products and that beautiful Turtle Beach setup. This might become a draw in the future, but at the moment that's what we're dealing with hardware. We've got Xbox winning in price, stability and drawing in experience, and we've got PC winning in graphics, add-ons and hardware, and drawing in experience. This does mean that it's a marginal win for PC, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't get Xbox. Xbox opens the door to flight simulation for so many people. It's a really stable and fun experience for an affordable price, which links back to my previous message about it opening the door to so many more people. Realistically, it's more of a draw. You've got to think what type of flight simulation experience you want. If you want a professional experience, if you're looking to go into real world flight training or real world flying as a career, then you do want to invest in a PC. Xbox is very limited at the moment in terms of hardware, add-ons and graphics. It doesn't mean it won't change in the future, and by the looks of it, it very much will, but at the moment that's what you're dealing with. On the other hand, if you want a more casual, arcadey flight sim experience, where you want to fly around with your friends in formation over New York, then Xbox is going to be your best friend. For the very cheap price that you pay for the Xbox Series S, or for the mediocre price that you pay for the Xbox Series X, you are getting a PC and more for less dollar. And that's why I wholeheartedly recommend Xbox, opening so many doors for an affordable price and getting so many people into flight simulation who might in the future invest in a PC for the reasons I've listed in this video. What do you guys think? I'd recommend both. PC is the marginal winner on paper, but it doesn't mean it's the winner in real life. I think it's a pretty good draw. They both offer two different experiences. Anyway, from me today, that is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you did enjoy. And thank you to my first class flyers, channel members. They get a shout out right now. Thank you to Simon Schmidt, Captain Matt Russell, Jesse Wiseman, Ethan Bubeck and Erwin K. If you want to become a channel member for exclusive perks and of course you're supporting my channel, click that blue join button. In addition, I'm running a charity fundraiser, ending with me doing a skydive. I'm raising money for two very important charities, SAFA and St Nicholas Hospice. I've now moved over to a Just Giving page because of issues with Virgin Money Giving. All the previous donations have been moved over and all the information you need is on the Just Giving website, which is in the link in the comments. Anyway, from me today, that is all. Bye bye.